Hello, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is the Harvard House Money Morsel. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell so that you get a notification when we're releasing a new video. I'm speaking today with Michael Porter. Hello, Michael.
Morning, Robin.
Very wet and rainy outside, and I see you geared. I've just come back from the Cape, and there was snow there. I think it's coming here, so I think you're well
And you
prepped.
only get a chance to wear a scarf once or twice a year in this country, so you've got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think you might need it this week. Michael, we're filming Monday morning. I think one of the things, maybe everyone's aware of, that gold has been on a good run, but platinum probably, I remember in the late 90s or mid 2000s when platinum got to sort of $2,200 an ounce, and it hasn't been over $1,000, but it's sneaked back up there. What's happening in the minerals market at the moment?
Yeah, Robin, I think it's interesting. Platinum really has been in the doldrums for sure. It feels like a decade. I mean, there was a brief spurt when Russia invaded Ukraine because Russia's a big palladium producer, and obviously there were sanctions on Russia, but all that metal has still found its way into markets. So that was a sort of short-lived little rally. And yes, Robin, I think what's been weighing on the platinum price for years is the sort of move to hybrid vehicles. Obviously one of the main uses for platinum is an auto catalyst to reduce air emissions, and people have been concerned about, I suppose, the move away from combustible engines. And yes, there are other uses for platinum, and fuel cells is obviously an alternative technology. But now I think with Donald Trump coming in, with this focus shifting on maybe strict environmental standards, and platinum is having its little resurgence. And one of the other things that's driving the platinum price is that because gold has become so expensive. So if you think of gold at $3,300 an ounce, and platinum at 1,100. From a jewelry perspective, platinum jewelry is now far cheaper than gold jewelry, and gold jewelry has become very expensive. And it's always was a case in Asia with a slightly sort of darker skin color that actually platinum looks good in Asia because it's a sort of a bigger contrast against the skin than gold is. So platinum jewelry in Asia is actually picking up quite a lot.
Okay.
So that's another source of demand. But unfortunately, and this is the downside of it, the other reason why the platinum price is moving is because supply is constrained, and that's because our mines are under so much pressure. They've been cutting back, and production is a shadow of its former self. But then last week we also obviously had the sort of final stage in Anglo-American's demerger of Anglo-Platinum.
Okay.
So you'll remember a year ago Anglo-American embarked on this big project to simplify itself to fend off the takeover bid from BHP. And they've sold a few tranches of Anglo-Plat, and then last week they unbundled most of the shareholding to shareholders. Anglo Platinum has changed its name to Valterra Platinum. So if you see Valterra popping up on your statements, it's not some weird and wonderful futuristic company. It's just Anglo Platinum and a new guise. But there's quite a lot of activity in the platinum sector at the moment. But yes, I mean, platinum prices are moving a little bit higher. I wouldn't say palladium and rhodium are moving much higher yet, but I think there's just a little bit more. I think the market is certainly focusing on the fact that supply is very constrained. Demand is actually picking up, and platinum prices really have been unchanged for probably 10 years. So there's been no real growth in prices at all. So but it's really good. Just as an anecdote, Robin, I had my 35th school reunion this past weekend, which we won't talk about.
I didn't know you were that old.
Yeah, I've been out of school longer than I was in school, so we won't talk about that much. But it's a chance to chat with people in different walks of life, and you just get to catch up with old people. A few of my contemporaries were, funny enough, just chatting to them. We had engineering businesses in Joburg, and just the general comment was that they're busy, and they supply equipment to the mines. And I think at our heart, South Africa is still a mining country. I mean, I know the minister tries to do his level best to make life as difficult as possible, but when the mines are busy, you're ordering equipment, you're ordering you are upgrading your plant, you're doing all those bits and pieces. So the gold, obviously the gold mines are investing. Are going through a good time at the moment with record profitability. And if the platinum mines start to come through a little bit as well, that'll actually be, it might not be that the mining sector itself contributes hugely to GDP growth, but if they are feeding orders and activity into the industrial base in Gauteng especially, that we would notice that come through in our stats, which is a positive, So yeah, just at the margin, there's maybe some little things that are starting to turn our way. Maybe the one final comment on the commodity prices, Robin, is that our terms of trade is also improving. So that's the sort of price of your exports versus the price of your imports. Oil prices are still low. The rand is strengthening a bit, but our big exports, which is gold and platinum, and to a lesser extent, obviously, coal and iron ore, are improving, and so that's underpinning the rand as well. Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, if we're going to have a situation where sort of the one commodity that's not running away, we've highlighted before, is oil, and we've got rand strengthening because of terms of trade. I mean, it really is going to feed into inflation, interest rates.
We talked about the Reserve Bank. Come on, the Reserve Bank. We need another cut. But it certainly gives them scope, Robin. I mean, if inflation started to really tick up, then they'd say, we were justified in being cautious. But if inflation stays low at around the 3% level, there'll be a lot of more pressure to cut, which will just try and, I suppose, support the unfolding cycle and just give it a little bit more of a boost. So
it's interesting, Michael. We just, flipping completely. We just spent a couple of days in the Cape, and I stayed on just to have a weekend in the Cape. And at some point we were talking about gold and platinum. We moved to platinum because gold's got expensive. Where are people going to semigrate to? Because property prices in the Cape are stupid, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I hear Howick and Mirabel is a very good venue.
Oh, well, that's excellent.
It's the Cape is expensive. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Well, hopefully
maybe everybody will move back to Joburg if Joburg starts to recover.
Well,
I saw a headline this morning that Helen Ziller is considering running for mayor of Joburg.
Yes,
that would throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
Yes. Definitely. Michael, thanks for giving us that insight. Thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.